Book 4, Stage 7, Lesson 94. Few, F-U, feel sorry for someone. Few, F-U, feel sorry for someone. The word few means not many, whilst the words F-U means some, but not many. For example, if I say to you that I have few books at home, it means I haven't many. Perhaps only 2 or 3. And you might feel sorry for me. If, however, I say to you that I have a few books at home, it means that although I haven't many, I have some, perhaps enough for my purposes, and you might say that you're pleased to hear that. Okay, so what's the difference between the words few and a few? What's the difference between the words few and a few?
The difference between the words few and a few is that the word few means not many, whilst the word a few means some but not many.
Excellent. Could you give me some examples, please?
I have a few books and I have few books.
Very good. Have you got few pictures hanging up on your walls at home, or a few pictures? Have you got few pictures hanging up on your walls at home, or a few pictures?
I have got a few pictures hanging on the wall at home.
Very good. How many?
I have 5 pictures hanging on the wall at home.
Very good. Little, a little. Little, a little. The difference between little and a little is that is the same as between few and a few. The word little means not much, whilst the words a little mean some, but not much. For example, if I say to you that I have little money, it means I haven't much and am in fact poor. If, however, I say I have a little money, it means that although I haven't much money, I have some and perhaps I have enough for my purposes. It means that I am not poor. What's the difference between the words little and a little?
The difference between the words little and a little is the same between few and the word a few. The word little means means some, but not much. And
the words little.
And the words little means that I have not much.
Very good. Could you give me some examples, please?
I have little money and I have a little money.
Very good. If I said to you that I ate little bread for my lunch, how many pieces would you say I ate? If I said to you that I ate little bread for my lunch, how many pieces would you think I ate?
If you said that you ate little bread for lunch, I'd say you ate about 1 or perhaps 2 small pieces.
Very good. Now, if I said to you that I ate a little bread for my lunch, how many pieces would you say I ate? If I said to you that I ate a little bread for my lunch, how many pieces would you say I ate?
If you said you ate a little bread for your lunch, I would say you ate about 2 or 3 normal pieces.
Press, control. Press, control. So, what am I doing? What am I doing?
You are pressing your thumb on the table.
Very good. What does it mean to press somebody for the money we have lent them? What does it mean to press somebody for the money you have lent them?
To press somebody for the money you have lent them means you keep asking for it back.
Very good. Can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press? Can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press?
No, we can always believe everything we read about famous people in the press.
If not, do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people? If not, do you think there should be some kind of control over what press is writing about these people?
Yes, I think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people.
Very good. Step off. Step, step off. About how many steps would you have to take to walk from one end of this room to the other? About how many steps would you have to take to walk from one end of this room to another?
If I have to take about 8 steps to walk from one end to this room to the other.
Very good. What might happen if you stepped off a bus whilst it was still moving? What might happen if you stepped off a bus whilst it was still moving?
If I step off a bus while it's still moving, I might fall.
Very good. Do you have to walk up any steps when you come to the classroom? Do you have to walk up any steps when you come to the classroom?
Yes, I have to walk up some steps when I come to the classroom.
How many steps are there up to this classroom? How many steps are there up to this classroom?
There are about 10 steps up to this classroom.
Very good. Bill, come to, pair, quarter, pass, along, act. Bill, come to, pair, quarter, pass, along, act. If a girl goes to a restaurant with her boyfriend, do you think she ought to pay half the bill? If a girl goes to a restaurant with her boyfriend, do you think she ought to pay half the bill?
Yes, if a girl goes with her boyfriend to a restaurant, I think she ought to pay half the bill.
Why?
Because it's what is fair.
Okay, very good. About how much does your electricity bill generally come to per month? About how much does your electricity bill generally come to per month?
My electricity bill generally comes per month about 60,000 pesos.
Okay. What happens to a bill after it has been passed by the government? What happens to the bill when it is passed by the government?
After a bill has passed by the government, it becomes an act.
Very good. Used to, play truant. Used to, play truant. We use the words used to for a repeated action in the past, and it generally means that the action is now finished, that we don't do it anymore. For example, I used to go to the cinema every Saturday afternoon, but I don't now. It means that I was in the habit of going to the cinema every Saturday in the past, but I'm not anymore. So, when do we use the words used to and what do they mean? When do we use the words used to and what do they mean?
We use the words used to for a repeated action in the past. It generally means that the action is now finished.
Very good. Can you give me an example, please?
I used to go to the cinema every Saturday afternoon, but I don't now.
Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now? Did you used to speak English better now than you speak now?
No, I didn't used to speak English better in the past than I speak it now.
Very good. It will be noticed that in the conversation, the D in used to is often silent. Probably because it is difficult to pronounce a D and a T sound together. So, did you ever used to play truant when you were a small child at school? Did you ever used to play truant when you were a small child at school?
No, I never used to play truant when I was a small child at school.
Why not?
Because I'm not really familiar with that game.
Okay, BC, AD, Christ, Lord. BC, AD, Christ, Lord. The letters BC mean before Christ, whilst the letters AD mean Anno Domini, from the Latin language, meaning in the year of our Lord, although we usually think of this as meaning after Christ. For example, 500 BC means 500 years before Christ, whilst 500 AD means 500 years after Christ. So, what do the letters BC mean? What do the letters BC mean?
The letters BC mean before Christ.
Very good. What do the letters AD mean?
The letters AD mean Anno Domini, from the Latin meaning after Christ.
Excellent. Trial, trial. Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial? Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial?
No, it isn't wise to judge something before we give it a try.
Why not?
Because we don't really know what we're judging.
Introduce from abroad. Introduce from abroad. What would you like to see introduced into your country from abroad? What would you like to see introduced into your country from abroad?
I would like to see introduced into my country from abroad more technology.
Very good. Adventure. Adventure. Would you like to live a life of adventure? Would you like to live a life of adventure?
Yes, I'd like to live a life of adventure.
Very good. Why?
Because a life of adventure is very exciting.
Seed. Seed. What do we mean by seed time? What do we mean by seed time?
By seed time, we mean the time of the year when we put seeds into the land.
Thank you very much. End of lesson 94.